Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, this is Louisiana Cooking and Living. My name is Katie. I do a lot of videos, mostly cooking videos, but also try to incorporate different things around Louisiana that we like to do. Also, we have a garden and 13 chickens, so a little bit here and there about that also. Tonight we're going to be doing I'm trying to do a little series on Labor Day cookout since Labor Day is coming up. So tonight we're going to be doing another little video about things to do for Labor Day cookout, smoking some brisket, making a peach cobbler, twice baked potatoes, and I think just some roasted broccoli and some bread. So we're going to get started with the peach cobbler, and I'll just, I guess, turn the camera down now and so you can see what I'm going to do. So the first thing you're going to do is take I just have a disposable pan here to make it easy for cleanup, but you'll take a stick of butter and you'll put it in the oven on 350 while your oven's preheating and melt a stick of butter. And in my bowl here I have a cup and a half of self-rising flour, and I also have a cup of sugar, and I'm going to add 1 cup of milk. We're going to stir that together easily. You don't want any lumps in it, so you want to make sure it's well incorporated. But you also don't want to slop it everywhere. So we'll get this stirred together. This recipe is actually from Paula Deen, and it's just on her little website. I just Googled Paula Deen's peach cobbler, and it went right to the recipe. So if you want to look it up written down, you can look up her website. I made this recipe a couple of times, and my family really enjoys it. My neighbor went to Alabama, and they brought us back some peaches. So that's going to be used as the peaches that she brought us. Alright, so we're going to take this mixture and we're going to pour it into our melted butter. I'm going to get a spatula real quick. In the meantime, while our butter was melting in the oven, I took 4 cups of peaches, and we took 1 cup of sugar and a cup of water, and we put that together on the stove and let that simmer for about 10 minutes. So you have to trust the process and don't mess it with it. We're going to have our melted butter. We're going to pour our batter in here. Because this is self-rising flour, it is going to puff up. We're not going to stir anything around. Just get all of our batter in here. Okay, I'm going to grab my spoon real quick and we'll spoon these peaches on top. So you're just going to drop these peaches on top, and then you're going to pour the juice on top also. Very easy dessert, and everybody loves it. I'm sure you could do this with other fruit too, any other kind of cobblers you'd want to make, but we have peaches on hand right now. Alright, so we'll take the rest of this juice here and we'll just pour this over the top also. I know it looks very watery and you want to stir it, but you don't stir it. So now we're going to put this in the oven for 30 to 45 minutes on 350. You could sprinkle some cinnamon on it if you like cinnamon with your peaches, but we are just going to go like this. Alright, we'll be back. Okay, so next we're going to just roast some broccoli real quick. I just have some broccoli florets on my sheet pan here. I'm going to drizzle some garlic infused oil. I just did like a little short on how to make this. And if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw it over there also. So I'm just going to drizzle this garlic infused oil over my broccoli. What I did was I just took some avocado oil and threw a bunch of garlic cloves in there and just simmered it on the stove for, I don't even remember, it was at least an hour. And I just put it in a mason jar. So I don't know if you can see. I have the garlic cloves in here because sometimes we like to use this in cooking, but you have to make sure your oil stays above the garlic line to seal them in so they don't go bad. So when you're spinning your oil out, make sure you don't go too far. If you do, just add a little bit of oil to top it off, and as this garlic clove sits in there, it will continue to flavor that oil. So just have the oil there. I'm going to do some salt and pepper, and then when these are almost all the way roasted, we will add some Parmesan cheese to the top. A pink Himalayan salt here. Sometimes I'll throw some red onion on here if I have some red onion, or if I have some raw garlic cloves, I'll throw those on here too. So we're just going to slip this in the oven on about 400 because I kind of like to get a little bit of black bits on it to char it a little bit, and we'll just roast that in the oven until, I don't know how long it takes, just until it looks ready, I guess, basically, because it's blanched broccoli, it's ready to go. It's just whatever you feel like it looks good to you, and then we'll throw that Parmesan cheese on top of it to top that off. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is make our stuffed baked potatoes, or twice baked potatoes. So what I've already done is I've taken one of my potatoes, cut it in half, and I scooped out the filling here. And I got this Amish butter at the local grocery store, and I'm going to use this tonight. So what I like to do is I like to add all my ingredients in layers so I don't have to over mix my potato mixture. So I have potato, I'm going to add some butter, just take off a little bit of butter here. Again, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I don't like to measure so much. And my potatoes are hot, they just came out of the oven. I did bake them on about 400 for about an hour, I guess, till they're, you know, nice and soft like you were going to have a baked potato. So I put my butter in here. I'm going to add salt and pepper. I don't have any chives right now, which I would normally add some chives to this. So I'm just going to add some dried parsley flakes here, just to give a little bit of green. And I'm going to go ahead and add some cheese. Y'all know I don't usually buy shredded cheese, but my husband bought this while he was out of town, so we'll add that in here. Kind of give this a quick little mash together. Oh, and my bacon. Sorry. I went on and pre-cooked some bacon and chopped it up here. We'll add some of that into this layer. And of course we're going to keep mixing it around, but I just like to kind of get things going. So we'll take our next potato. Still super hot. I like to put them on a little towel because they're very hot to handle. And cut it in half. And that way I can hold it with the little towel. And scoop out my insides. I like to leave like a little bit of potato around it just to kind of give it some body. Because if you don't, the skins will kind of fold in on themselves. And so what I typically do is I do one extra potato so I can have extra filling. So they're good and stuffed tall, because I only give half a potato to each person. Half a skin, and then, but I like to overstuff them. So I'll mash all that up, and we'll add our ingredients in layers, like I said. More salt and pepper, parsley, some more butter. All right. I don't add sour cream into this because personally I don't like sour cream, and not all my kids like sour cream. And I feel like if you like sour cream, you can just add it to the top. So I don't usually add sour cream, but you could, if everybody you know likes sour cream, you could add it to the top or into the mix. All right, this is our last potato. And this, I will only save one of these skins out. And this one's, and that's another thing is I plan ahead too, because like this one broke. I don't know if you can see this. It kind of got a hole in the skin, and that just won't hold together. So that will be the one I throw out. And then I'll scoop this one. More seasonings. Now, because I don't put sour cream in here, I do put a generous amount of butter because I do like it to still be moist. I don't want it to be dried out. There's my bacon. Add some cheese. This is a combination of Oaxaca cheese and cheddar cheese that we did great here. And then I'll just stuff this back in the shells, and we'll top it with the cheese, and we'll pop this in the oven with our broccoli and get these browned up on top. I'm going to give it a little taste, make sure it has a little salt, enough salt and pepper though. I'll grab another spoon. Add some more pepper. I think it needs more butter. And I don't think this butter is salted. I'm mostly tasting the cheese. I'm a little bit, just a tiny bit more salt. If you overmix potatoes, that starch can really come out and make it kind of turn into glue. So try not to overmix my potatoes. These are just russet potatoes. All right, we'll stuff these potato skins. So because I didn't use that last potato skin, you can see I have a generous amount to put in each one of these potato skins. Of course, I have clean hands. In my kitchen, I'm sure you have your rules for your kitchen also, but I'm feeding my family, and All right. Now that that's done, we will top it with some extra cheese. I'll just put parchment down on my sheet pan to make cleanup easy. Try and get some of this cheese that fell. All right, we're going to pop these back in the oven. My oven's still on 350 for that cobbler. And we'll just cook them or heat them up until they brown on top. Because everything inside's cooked and hot. We just want to get that cheese nice and melty. So we'll be back. Those twice baked potatoes, you could actually make those the day before and put them in the fridge and put them in the oven just to heat them back up and melt that cheese. If you wanted to make them ahead of time, you could do that. So the brisket was actually smoked a couple of days ago. We did that for my birthday. We shredded up half of it, made tacos with it, and we're just reheating the rest of it for tonight in the oven. But and I'm going to insert in just a second the video after we smoked that brisket of what it looked like. And I had my husband kind of write down the instructions. So he just trimmed the fat off of it, and then he uses this, it's a salt, pepper, garlic, onion, I think, granulated garlic rub that he coats the outside of the brisket with this. And then I had him write down what he did. So he smoked it at 180 until it got to the internal temperature of 160 degrees. And then he wraps it in butcher paper and then puts it back in the smoker on 250 until it gets to an internal temperature of 205 degrees. And then you just have to rest it for a couple of hours. And it took about 16 hours total to cook the brisket. I think it was about 11 pounds, if I want to remember correctly. So I'll insert that little clip now.
I'm going to lift up this piece.
Squeeze.
Actually, I'm going to do it again.
Does that brisket make your Texas side proud?
Okay, so this is the peach cobbler coming out of the oven. I'm going to kind of lift it up to the camera a little bit so you can kind of see it better. Serve this with some whipped cream or some vanilla ice cream, and that's just going to be perfect. So it puffs up all around the peaches, and that's your peach cobbler. We're going to pull all this meal together, and then I'm going to show you the finished product. So this night we had some leftover smoked brisket, and I roasted some broccoli with garlic infused oil, salt and pepper, and some Parmesan cheese. If you watch my Thursday videos, this will be a featured meal on how I did everything. This is just some Brazilian cheese bread. I love to get these from Costco. And then some twice baked potatoes. And then for dessert, we are having some peach cobbler. Okay, y'all, I'm so sorry my face is so red, but it's like 1,000 degrees here in Louisiana right now. Okay, so this is our plate of food tonight. If you can see that, this brisket is so moist and tender. And the twice baked potato, I did some of these Brazilian cheese bread bites. I get those at Costco. Absolutely love those. And then I put that Parmesan on the broccoli. So I hope you try this out, and I hope you enjoy it. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you hit subscribe and share it with your friends. If you think of anybody that might enjoy seeing how to make some meals or just ideas on cooking, or just interested in what goes on here in Louisiana when it's so stinking hot outside. I think it gets like right now about 100 degrees with a heat index of about 115. We are supposed to be getting rain every afternoon, which usually cools it off. That's our summer typical weather pattern, but it has not been raining here. I've been trying to water the garden twice a day, giving the chickens ice treats because it is just so hot. It's just unbearable outside. Our pool is about 94 degrees. It's like bath water. It's not refreshing at all. Anyway, that's what's going on here. If you want to tell me what's going on in your neck of the woods, just leave a comment. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you have any advice for me or tips or anything like that, just leave a comment. And if you can subscribe, and also I have an Instagram. I'll leave a little link to that in the description, or the like the name of the Instagram page. I'll also put it up here at the top. I also have an Etsy page where I sell my Cajun seasoning that I make homemade, and soon I'll be posting my vanilla and lemon extract that I've made in a previous video. I can link that also up here at the top and one of the cards at the top. And I just hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.